Welcome to the Fatherhood Fitness Podcast. I'm your host, Anthony Pluff. Each week, we will cover various topics that dads struggle with in their fitness journey. I'll give you actionable steps that you can apply right away, not only to take back control of your own health, but so you're able to be a better example for your kids too. All right, welcome to today's show. Now, one of the easiest ways to lose motivation in your fitness journey is to obsess over daily shifts in your weight, which often have nothing to do with whether or not you're gaining or losing fat. For instance, even slight changes in water retention can produce noticeable ups and downs on the scale. Now, a much better way to track your body weight is to look at longer range averages, which don't fluctuate as much and give a more accurate description of how much fat you're actually losing. Now, if over the course of weeks and months, these averages are moving down, that means you're losing weight. And if they're not, then we know you're not in a calorie deficit and you may need to track your food a little closer. Now, here's a procedure of how to track your weight more accurately that you can use. Now, the first thing you want to do is to make sure you weigh yourself first thing in the morning, at least twice a week. I like to do Monday and Friday, but this isn't necessarily the be all end all. Now, you also want to make sure that you're not doing this every day. Now, you can do it every single day, but if you're trying to get away from focusing so much on using the scale as progress, then you probably only want to do it 2, maybe 3 times a week. You want to make sure that you're naked or at least down to your underwear, minimal clothing. Make sure you've used the bathroom and you weigh yourself before eating or drinking anything. Now, it's very important that you have the same process each time you weigh yourself. If one time you weigh yourself on Monday and you haven't eaten anything and you hadn't used the bathroom yet, and then on Friday, you weigh yourself in the evening, you had just used the bathroom, but maybe you drank 16 ounces of water, your results aren't going to be as accurate. So you want to make sure you do the same thing each time. So for me, that's weighing first thing in the morning. I've used the bathroom, and it's before I've ate or drank anything. Now, you want to record the number somewhere you'll remember. If you use MyFitnessPal, which is a free app, they have a feature that will store your numbers for you and graph your changes over time. This is what I do personally. It's a great way to record it. It's a great way to easily access it as well. Now, every few weeks, what you're going to do is you're going to add your weigh-ins together and divide the sum by the number of weigh-ins to get your average daily weight for that period. And you want to make sure you're recording this as well. So an example that we can look at here for someone who is trying to lose weight. So like I said, I weigh myself on Mondays and Fridays. So that's what we're going to use for this example here over the course of 3 weeks. So let's say the first Monday, this person weighed 180 pounds. On Friday, they weighed 177. The next Monday, they weighed 179. The next Friday, they weighed 179. The next Monday, they weighed 178. And then the last Friday, they weighed 177. So 6 total weigh-ins, and we added their weights all together there. So those 6 total weigh-ins, you add those together, that's 1,070 pounds. We divide that by 6 weigh-ins, and the average weight over that time was 178.3. So even though the scale did not go down linearly, they still are moving in the right direction. So they started at 180, they ended at 177, average daily weight 178.3. Now, this method of tracking your weight keeps you focused on the bigger picture instead of focusing on meaningless day-to-day variances, which can cause you to get pretty frustrated and lose motivation over time. Now, like I mentioned before, if you don't want to do this yourself, you can use MyFitnessPal and it'll automatically chart everything for you. But the most important thing to remember is that change takes time. And as long as you are making progress in the long term, the short-term daily setbacks aren't going to derail you. That concludes this episode of the Fatherhood Fitness Podcast. Thank you for those of you who took time out of your busy schedules to listen. If you have any questions or comments or an idea for a topic for a future episode, please feel free to reach out, and I'd love to hear from you.